rise above board. That's why also you have people in politics who also believe that, look, once you occupy that office, people should serve you, even though you beg them to serve. And that's why we have this mentality of, do you know who I am? So it's a mentality of, do you know who I am? Come past and make I see how you go take past.
Okay.
If you don't want to drop something. Even in religious circles.
Mr. Oshoma, let me ask you, sorry to call, but let me call, because you raised something very important, talking about, the quote from a former Chief Justice who handled the case here in Port Harcourt. Let me cast your mind and the mind of our listeners, all right, to a certain Nikki Toby. He's retired, an erudite jurist.
Nikki Toby.
Yes. Yeah. Now, he said, all right, and I'm also going to quote him just like you did. Now, delivering a leading judgment, he posited that a judge, by the nature of his position and professional calling, is expected to be straightforward, upright, diligent, consistent, and open in whatever he does in court and in other places of human endeavor that he finds himself to be. This is because his character as a judge is public property. Now, Mr. Liborous, I'm very sure you've read this book when you were back in secondary school, The Incorruptible Judge. What is
Justice Agbalowo Mary.
Thank you very much. Now, what exactly has happened? Yes, you said there's a correlation between the colonial mentality, but in the 70s and in the 80s, many would say that the judge used to stand for something symbolic. They were revered, but these days not so much. It cannot just be that it is the hunger in the land. After all, the judge is meant to be, quote unquote, upright, diligent, and consistent. Mr. Liborous.
To add to what Justice Nikki Toby said, my professor in the university, late Professor D.O. Ahe, and late Professor Iboni, used to tell us that a judge ideas ought to be in the heavens. Those days when they talk about juries, they will tell you their ideas are up in the heavens, and that is why they are addressed as milords. Because justice is blind, it does not see. It just weighs the scale on the balance of probability on the scale, and then it strikes. It also weighs the scales on the proof of evidence, and then it strikes. But remember, General Oladipo Dia now said during the military era that justice has been so bastardized that now judges write two judgments, one in the right pocket, one in the left pocket, depending on the greasing. If it is properly greased, the right one comes. If it's not properly greased, the left one comes. But that said, it has even gotten worse today, because you need to first and foremost, that time we'll talk about remuneration. Remember when in 1999, former Vice President Yomi Oshibanjo said when he was appointed Attorney General in Lagos, he visited some judges. He saw judges writing judgments with lantern. No light, lantern. So you could say that the institution was so bastardized that it became vulnerable to accepting it. But today,
yes,
you also look at the appointment. How are people in this sector appointed? What are they susceptible to? When they are appointed, who appoints them? What is the disciplinary measure taken to ensure that, if there are issues, who disciplines who? So, when all of these things are not properly handled, a situation where the NJC in Rivers State recommended somebody as a judge, as the chief judge of the state, but because a governor feels otherwise, he says, no, I will not accept that your
recommendation.
I rather let the court close. I don't care. I don't stand. That same person was a governor whom the court made a governor. So you see the power of the politicians to influence. Judges' houses were raided. We started hearing that we saw dollars, pounds, foreign currency, hard currency in a hungry land. And then we started hearing also that some politicians came to the judges' houses and said, oh, the president is interested in this matter. The president is interested in that one. This person is interested in that one. In the same vein, we also hear that, oh, some judges at the state level, they say the governor is interested in this, the governor is interested in that. So, when the entire pool is corrupt, because starting from appointment, it is, please, the bearer is from me. Interview and employ. Beg your way through. Please, he will cope. Oh, he's an indigent. He will cope. At least it's 15 years, it's 10 years post-call. Oh, the father is a governor, former governor. Oh, the mother is a judge. Oh, the sister is a judge. The sister is married to a chief judge. So please put his name. Oh, the son is the court to bar. Just put his name, he will manage.
He will manage.
And so, he will manage. And then, he's there. The first thing in his mind is, oh boy, I don't become judge. I will say use this profession and make money. So, that is not the kind of person whose ideas want to be in heaven. That's not the kind of person who will be upright. And also, the society that you live in, where the society do not take care of people who are supposed to try cases involving billions. And orientation matters. You live in a society where money is paper qualification and money is everything. No more respect. We even have songs that say, if you don't get money, hide your face.
Hide your face.
And we sing it gladly. So in such a scenario, you have a judge, for example, who works and was upright and retired, and he couldn't afford a car. He couldn't even afford to send his children to good school.
Okay.
What will you call such a person? His community, by the time he retires to go back home, in community will be pointing the accusing finger at him and say, yeah, we helped. We helped. He was a very wicked man. Now, so if you go beg him for judgment, you know they look anybody. He will deliver judgment according to the law. Now the society also punish you for being upright.
Okay, now, Mr. Oshoma, now we're going to go on a break in just about 2 minutes, right? And when we come back, we'll open the phone lines. We have comments for you from Facebook and X, as well as WhatsApp messages I've already started to pour in. But you mentioned the NJC. You very carefully, highlighted how some of these judges are brought into power, and you also said that even down the line, the clerk who's going to carry your files, there's some form of corruption in there. Now, my question to you, is the NJC in limbo about this? Are they oblivious? And if they are in the know, in this case, like the one we just saw, this young lawyer who's crying online, what are the necessary steps that ought to be taken in such a case? In 2 minutes.
Okay, quickly, the NJC is in the know. But right from more than 15 years ago, we have been advocating for a change in the composition of the NJC. NJC sits as ad hoc. The Chief Justice of the Federation is the chairman of the NJC, and he appoints about 85% of the members of the NJC. People who, in his opinion, the situation where the chairman of the NJC and the President Court of Appeal are loggerhead over a matter who now settles it. So that's why some people recommend that we should have people, credible retired judges as members of the NJC who will be sitting regularly to review, because Lord Dennis said, when a judge sits on trial, the judge is on trial. When you are trying one person, the entire world is trying you to see how we try. But unfortunately today, because of the larger society that we find ourselves, issues like this, even in a situation like this, the NJC will tell you they don't act on social media. The lawyer will need to bring the petition.
Okay. To the NJC.
And I can tell you, because of the nature of the sitting, it's an ad hoc. If you know the number of petitions that are seated there to address, because of overcrowded, the NJC table is also overcrowded. So you have a chief judge of various states who will also sit as a member of the NJC. So all of this, now one person.
Okay.
So you need to decentralize the composition and the
all right,
hold
that thoughts, Oshoma. Hold that. We'll be back after this break, please. Hold that.
The show continues after this break on Nigeria Info.
Of corruption at a court in Anambra State, and it's led to the bigger question of allegations of corruption at the Nigerian Judiciary. Now, joining me via telephone once again is our guest, Liborous Oshoma. Good morning. Once again, thank you for joining us on the program.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, before we go on the news break, Mr. Oshoma, there's a very interesting question here for you. I'm going to put it up to you. Comments on Facebook at Nigeriainfo PH. Leonard Abel says, corruption in Nigeria is a heritage, but only God knows where our leaders inherited it from. May God help us. And then, Chizoba is asking, can't the lawyers protest? The next protest should be on the reform of the judiciary. Can't lawyers protest about this thing happening in the judiciary? Mr. Liborous, this is at your doorstep. Help us.
You see, gone are the days where you had the NBA, like Alawa Kabashon, that will lead lawyers to protest, and everybody will comply. You know, then, Nigeria were a very selfish bunch. Then we had the military, and it was a common enemy. So across board, everybody agreed that it was a common enemy, and it was like we were united because we had a common enemy. Today, that common enemy is gone. We are all within ourselves. If you come for a protest, for example, in Rivers State today and say, let us boycott courts, you have the Attorney General who is in government. That one will call some of his friends and say, no, don't let these things succeed. You understand? You have some people whose brothers and sisters are judges who will also say, if I'm protesting, I have to look at it, I am opposing this thing that can come to us. it will look as if you are demarketing the government. So those ones will now come and say, no. Take this Wike and Fubara matter, for example. Even lawyers are speaking from both sides of the mouth, depending on the one they support. They will be left to the law. So that is why all of these protests, the only way some of us can protest is by speaking our mind, which is one of the best form of protest also. So if you are now expecting all lawyers to come together, we all don't share the same ideas on, issues. But if you have a proactive MPA that can lead the charge, then some of these issues will be raised, roundtable discussions will be had. We have consistently been talking about them, but the more you try to set up panels, roundtables, stakeholders discussion, just like Eleke the bed in Chinya Achebe, things fall apart. The more the people will keep, circumventing the processes, and then, and now we are now running a federal government like local government, where, the federal government, the president, the local government chairman, the every other person's councillor and this thing. And so with that, it becomes even difficult to achieve any meaningful thing. Unlike where the state and the local government are stronger. So the problem becomes smaller to deal with. So those are the challenges.
Okay, all right. We'll get more, but stay tuned. We're back after the headline news.
Headline news, Nigeria Info on
92.3.
Headline news.
Allegations of corruption within the judiciary, the NJC, the courts, the last hope of the common man. But nay, says my guest this morning. Do you agree with him? What are your questions? As always, turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see or hear. Please do not make mention of it. And very importantly, keep your conversations civil.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeriainfo FM. Nigeriainfo, let's talk.
Hello, Port Harcourt, with Jude on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, 92.3 Nigeria Info. We are back with our guest, Liborous Oshoma, who is on the line. Mr. Oshoma, Harry in Port Harcourt has a comment for you. Also, we have one from Chijoke. But let's get to read the one from Chijoke. Chijoke says, good morning. Please ask your guest, what has he and people like him, such as Father, done to criticize and ask the NJC for reforms?
I don't know how old that person is. I don't know how old that person is, but I can beat my chest to say when I said 15 years ago, for more than 15 years now, I just highlighted the challenges and the problem of the NGC. I don't think he knows before. for more than 15 years. Some of us have been at the vanguard and the forefront, including newspaper interview, television interview, to puncture the composition of the NJC and why NJC should be reformed. So it is not until we carry placards that I am not one to, because I want people to see me protesting. We have made recommendations. I had, as far back as 15 years ago, be on matters like this, made recommendations and what should be done. And I just broke it down for you again to tell you that the NJC, as presently composited, cannot deal with all the myriads of the problems that are coming because there are too many. So you need a body that will sit regularly, just like the courtroom, because, like I said, when a judge sits on trial, the world is also trying him. So also, these petitions can be addressed. There are some petitions that are frivolous, though, but there are some with merit and how well they have been dealt with. But because of time, they are not able to be dealt with. And then, with passage of time, and they say justice delayed is justice denied. So those are what we have been doing. And I'm not here to beat my own drum. Okay. I'm here to discuss these other issues. Like I said, there are fantastic judges in who out of the problem, you have a lot of fantastic ones who will, despite the challenges, take up, matters, and justice will be delivered, and you will say the lawyers would, even when they disagree, they will still thank the judge for the respect and the industry brought into it. And I'm also sure, except this issue, now that it's being discussed, maybe somebody might also draw the attention of the Chief Judge of Enugu State to the matter, and I am aware that when Chief Judges take, or even the Chief Magistrate, when they become aware, the cost investigation needs to be conducted into such matter, and such steps are taken to nip it in the bud. If we were Lagos, I can tell you swiftly that
it would have been done. Okay, all right. So we have Daniel. We have Daniel in Imo Gate. He's on the line. Daniel, you want to talk to Mr. Liborous? You have a comment to make? Please join us.
Good morning, Jude.
Good morning, please.
Yes, I want to thank your guest on what is concerning that the court is no longer the hope of any common man, because if you begin to look at it that way, like they say, the governor has interest. Did you know that even our constitution is wrong? This is the reason why we say that the world is not balanced. Hope of common man is only in God. Okay, let's take an instance. We have what we call presidential pardon. If the president is God, that we pretend like the one we have with former Goodluck Jonathan to Messiah, our governors can even do. Could they do that to common man? My brother, this world is not balanced.
All right, so the world is not balanced, and a lot of things are not right with him. Okay, with it. All right, so Mr. Liborous, let's get to Facebook, all right, and share with you some of the comments coming through on Facebook. And if there's anyone that piques your interest and you'd like to respond, just give us a signal, and then we'll give you the time to do so. Now, Stephen Igbudu says the statement of corruption being rife in the NJC is not new any longer. It's no longer an allegation. It's not longer a rumor. It is not been exaggerated. Corruption is endemic in the judiciary, and nobody or institution is talking about it. There is no solution to it unless we, the Nigerians, decide more so.
Quickly.
Yes, please.
Let me correct an impression.
Yes.
You see, we are a country that likes shifting blame. We shift blame too much. I just told you that the judiciary is a fallout of the national malaise that we all have. Should I begin to reel out the corruption inherent in all of us? All of us. So it is these same people, this same lawyer, a lawyer who will collect money to do a job and will not do it. A
Mm.
lawyer who will bribe a judge. It is that same lawyer tomorrow who becomes a judge. And then you now say, then, his brother who once gave him money to go and bribe a judge, his brother who once entered the box and failed to pay, will now begin to say there's problem there. Amongst all of us, there's need for an attitudinal change. So that when you see here in this country, what we do not have here are value systems. There are no values here. The country of anything goes. And so that is why our judiciary also is a fallout of all of us. Our politics is a fallout of our behavior. And that's why at the end of the day, it is us as a people that need to change our attitude and not them. Election comes, you are ready to collect money. And then somebody says, vote for me, you say, you don't get structure. You don't get structure. Or you won't win. You won't win. So I don't want to waste my vote. And then you turn around tomorrow, you are complaining. Meanwhile, when that person gets to office, it's the person that is going to appoint judges, it's the person that is going to appoint commissioners, it's the person that is going to appoint people who will give you certificates, it's the person that will appoint governing council of your university, it's the person that will do almost everything for you. And then you see that you put your hand and say, oh, those people are corrupt. Those people are corrupt. See, we all play a role in making Nigeria what it is, one way or the other. All right.
Okay, let's get to X now. X at Nigeriainfo PH, at Nigeriainfo PH, at Hero says, this question is a good one, but let's not forget that we live with corruption. In every sector, organization, or firm, there is corruption. I'm sorry, but you can also find that in the church. That's what Hero is saying. Gift from Yenegua also on X says, these are two very different questions. For me, the answer is yes or no. Now, we asked the question on X, do you believe that there is corruption in the Nigerian judiciary, or are these allegations often exaggerated? Now, Mr. Liborous, on X, the poll says 94% of our respondents say that there is corruption in the Nigerian judiciary, and only 5.3% say that it is exaggerated. It's interesting that even the man on the street seemingly doesn't have faith in the judiciary. So how can this faith be restored? Mr. Liborous? Hello? Oh dear. All right. We'll have to reestablish our contact with my guest this morning, Liborous Oshoma. We're asking questions about the judiciary. And this is a fallout from the video, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how many of you have seen that video of a lawyer who was complaining about corruption in the magistrate court in Anambra State. Small courts. Very interesting video. And he was bold enough, right, to point the camera at the clerk who he says demanded for a 20,000 naira bribe. Let me say that again. 20,000 naira bribe for the signature of the judge to be penned on the file. So the person was meant to just carry the case file, go and give the magistrate judge, so they can sign and then grant bail. The bail has been met. Bail conditions have been met. That little brouhaha, if you may call it so, is where we are at the moment. Stay tuned. Right here on 90.3 Nigeriainfo. We'll be back with more conversations, more views from you.
It's all talk
Corruption a few moments ago, please. Thank you for your patience, please.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you. All right, so now we were reading comments of X, and one of them, said, for me, the answer is yes or no. The poll, 93% agree that there is corruption in the Nigerian judiciary, and they don't think it's over-exaggerated. Now it's saying 6% feel it is exaggerated. But one person is saying, if no one trusts the judiciary, what then do we do? How can we regain the trust of the judiciary?
Yeah, I can tell you for free that it's not over-exaggerated. What is happening is a reflection of our collective society. It is not over-exaggerated, and I told you, even though, yes, you would say that, yeah, there's still hope. You have some persons, and then you have the law, the position of the law as it is. We need to look at our laws also, starting from there, because the judges interpret what is in your laws. And if the laws are defective, it gives loopholes and it gives opportunity for compromise. You need to start from your assembly. We need to also ensure that your government is, not too bogus at the top. So that you have men at the assembly who will be able to make law that reflect, good governance that do not give room for loopholes. And then also be able to make laws that will reflect the kind of people you appoint to the bench. And then the remuneration and welfare, generally, of those people at the bench.
Yeah, but the welfare, Mr. Liborous.
Opportunity for consequences. Opportunity for consequences, of these people. Look, let me tell you, you're talking about welfare now. The person who is asking for 20,000 naira is not a court of appeal judge or a high court judge. It's a clerk of the court. When you take care of the judge, what happens to the gatekeeper? Those people who carry spies, what happens to them? Are they not part of the system?
Fair enough.
Exactly. So if the gatekeepers are hungry, how do they take documents to the man in the room? So we need to look at this issue holistically. Government cannot be feeding fast, and then you leave the people around government, to go empty-handed. They will find a way to begin to scratch. And that's why you have a country where we say the few are eating so much, and then the majority do not have. So what the majority is doing in turn is to ensure that they find a way to take from the system. That is why today Yahoo has become a normal thing. Hookup is now, a legitimate work. Kidnapping is now Yahoo Plus. And, do you know that some of the things we overlook here, like using undue influence, a situation where a pastor is selling water, selling stone, selling keys. If it is another client, they will arrest him. That's fraud. But here, we overlook it because government that is supposed to checkmate him is stealing. And the judge who is supposed to try the matter also, people never chop belly food. So everybody, pastor will take from you, give half to the police. If the matter eventually gets to court, he pays a senior lawyer who will go there and use the law to twist the whole process. And in some cases, if he now knows the judge, it don't finish for you. So it's a whole pot of mess that we need to one after the other unravel, and which is the first step. The first step is unbundle your government.
Okay, now
the government is too bogus.
Harry has a comment, concerning welfare, which is what I was trying to point out to you. And it's good that you made mention. Yes, the judges are taken care of. Harry says, Jude, good morning. We were in this country where some governors were buying SUVs, what millions of naira for judges, were renovating their houses, building new houses, and upgrading their apartments. Everybody kept saying this will make sure that the judges were performing well and making sure it was fair.
See, let me tell you, if I am a governor, I buy vehicle for judge. How can that judge give judgment against me?
But it's welfare. But you just argue that the welfare should be done.
Yes, but it is not the job of the governor to buy a vehicle for judges. It is not his job. Is it the judiciary is an arm of government. So why will one arm of government be the one to renovate houses for that arm of government, buy vehicles for them? Are they not going to compromise them? You buy vehicle for a judge, and tomorrow when the man gives judgment against you, you will not withdraw the vehicles when you buy for them. So how do you ensure that you don't hear them before for anywhere say governors are buying vehicles for judiciary, or you don't go America and you hear say governors they buy vehicles for judiciary? Where is it done? Or you are renovating the homes of judiciary? A judge's allowance and salary should be able to do all of that for him. The judiciary in itself, their salary, their allowances, their budget should be able to do all of that for them. But even at the local level, the magistrate court level, to the magistrate court level, do you know that in some states you will see a judge, they take Okada, they go court, go speak. In
the 21st century Nigeria, Mr. Liborous.
Yes. Then the governor will now come to their aid. The governor, like Superman in Cape, will now come and buy vehicles and then invite media houses, and then they'll now be distributing keys. And now say the governor is so magnanimous, amiable governor, super governor. He's giving vehicles, and then he now comes, he donates vehicles to the police, and then we'll now be happy. Is that governance? Should the governor be donating vehicles to the police? Shouldn't it be given that the police, as you are employed, part of the things, the requirement of your office is that you are on patrol. There is a vehicle provided by the police from their budget. There is a vehicle as you are employed as a judge. Everything is given to you to work with. And the day you fall out of line, immediately there is consequences for it. You are shown the way out.
Okay.
But when these things are not done, and then it is the governor, and then when that judge does anything tomorrow, the governor will now go and say, look, leave him. He will cope. Let us just... but you, be careful. Next time, don't give judgment against me. Like we saw in Enugu, when, in Imo, during Rocha's time, even now, sir. I am telling you, it was a judge that was using Okada to go to work in Imo. Before Uzodima now came and broadcast for them. So let's not pretend as if we don't know this thing.
Okay.
So that is why, go and check how magistrates are appointed now. Go and check how they are appointed. Sometimes now senior advocates go put list of their girlfriend or this thing. Say, this one is my list. This one is my quota. They give quota. They give quota. Politicians will get quota to appoint judges.
Okay.
And then you expect that when they're appointed, they will automatically just rise to the heavens from amongst us.
All right. Well, we're out of time, Mr. Liborous. If you just join us, well, it's been a fantastic conversation this Monday morning, talking about allegations and what can be done to improve the trust in the judiciary here in Nigeria. A lot of points have been made. The conversation doesn't stop. But before we go, Mr. Liborous, yes.
Yes. We were in this country. A Chief Justice of the Federation was removed from office via an ex parte order, ex parte, from Code of Conduct, and the President complied. NJC, we're in this country, NJC recommended for the suspension of a President Court of Appeal. The President complied on a Sunday. The same NJC now said, please put him back. For where they said there's the matter is in court. And that was how the man stayed outside until his retirement. If you are next in line, you think you want to, no matter how upright you are, you think you will want to comply, you will just say, make I do my own command, because even your village people will laugh at you. We were in this country. The President Court of Appeal's husband told us that I know how I used to disturb my wife for my colleague in the Senate. They laughed it off. And they started defending it. So what are we talking about? It is we in this country that have consistently caused all of this problem. Nobody is asking. How do people will become
judges?
We were in this same country. El-Rufai as MCT minister, in his book, it is boldly written there. that when he wanted to be revoking...
Oh, Mr. Mayor, we have to go. We have to go now. Thank you very much.
Stay with us. Nigeria Info. We'll be back.
Hold up. Everyone wanted in on all the exclusive footage and gist on BB Niger. We got you. The buzz is back.